Of course, this year's draft class would present 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. Luckily, this is not an area of concern for us, and hopefully for a very long time. This draft class from first glance seems to be very quarterback heavy as well as pass rush, so this could be an area that we could focus on for the 2027 class, but obviously it's still very early to determine anything. I did find a very interesting prospect. Nolan Gorman isn't someone who we will be drafting, but he is 28 years old. So if we wanted a mentor in the draft for Cal Bird, there is an option. 2 players I did find intriguing are projected to go in the first or second round, and are Cal Bird's former teammates that he connected with back in college. Marion McQueen has excellent size and is a physical type receiver, which has been a strategy of mine when selecting pass catchers. But if we wanted to shift gears, another receiver out of Miami is Jared Morgan, and he is more of a burner with elite speed. While there's still question marks on these players, one thing's for sure, both of these guys need to work on their route running. This week we can evaluate who we can give extensions to, and I don't think there's any doubt that Devon Witherspoon is the first guy we want to make sure stays in this uniform for a long time. Derek Hall is the other guy I want to take care of. He was a rotational player when this series started, but after the game against the Eagles, he may be headed towards a career year if he keeps it up. Week 3 will have us take on the 1-1 Minnesota Vikings and Justin Jefferson. This team now has JJ McCarthy leading the way, and he's developed well as a superstar development quarterback. We have some homecoming as well. Boye Mafe has moved on from us and signed with the Vikings. He opted to go back to the familiar grounds of where he played his college ball. And Ivan Pace, who also called this place home at one point, will make his debut in a Seahawks uniform. With the offense both teams present, it may come down to which defense can make the most stops and adding pressure to both of these young quarterbacks. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and please help the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll start with the Seahawks looking to drive down the field early, as Walker is open on the check down, taken down by Mafe out of bounds. He already has his second catch of the day as this takes them near the red zone. Here is a run, gashing right up the gut, and already Walker is making us feel comfortable with the ground game after missing last week's game against the Eagles. Here's second down, and now Bird gets grounded. Minnesota blitzed their linebackers, and it's Alex Anzalone making this third and forever. This drive was going well until that moment, but we can still end up with points. Unless you throw into coverage for an interception. This is picked off by Christian Izien, and the first career interception Cal Bird throws in the NFL is going to be returned for a pick 6. Mistakes are expected out of a first-year quarterback, but this is something we need better recognition on next time, because that throw just can't happen when you're deep in the red zone. So, Minnesota up early by 7. It'll be our first look on how the rookie responds, and he seems motivated on that throw as he connected with Metcalf for a chunk play. There is good chemistry between those two to start the year, as Walker cuts this back up the middle and picks up first down yardage. Credit to the offense, even with the early turnover they have done well moving the ball, as Bird connects with Taylor, and he has enough to move the chains. Even with the loss last week, he went over 100 yards and a score, and we're going to see him a lot more in the slot. As McDonald has it, tries to fight through some Vikings but gets the job done as they are inside the 30. Now back to the ground game. Good spacing, and there's reason for that. It's going to be a hold by the offense. So that'll back him up for second down. Bird gonna air it out. Caught by Taylor. These two have been on the same page anytime he runs a fade, and there's just too much size and speed for slot corners to match up. And credit the throw, it's only where his receiver could get to it. And now this drive is gonna be capped off with a touchdown. Nate McDonald sits alone in the back of the end zone, and what a response by Cal Bird after a pick 6. Solid read through his progressions and wait for the safety to bite, and a strike in between the numbers, and we are tied. After all the chaos, the Vikings are now stepping onto the field, and we are in the second quarter, trying to convert this third down, and the run is wrapped up from behind by Derek Hall. They will punt. And now it's looking like the pick 6 might work out in our favor to throw off their rhythm, as Walker runs by Anzalone after the catch, and again the Seahawks find themselves well inside Minnesota territory on 3 straight drives. As Bird trying to hit Metcalf in man coverage, but it's swatted down. Good coverage. Charbonnet is in now on 2nd down, but it goes to Walker, who kicks this outside with blockers, going for the end zone but pushed out at the 1. This is by far the best rushing performance so far, and we are only in the first half, as Walker will cap it off with another 6. Obviously, opening up a game with a pick 6 isn't ideal, but the way they've moved the ball downfield today is proof that they are starting to open up the playbook a bit more for the rookie, and it's paying dividends. And now McCarthy has nowhere to go with the football, and he will just eat the sack and live to see another play. Zach Ballard was the one responsible for this 3rd and long. They'll try a deep ball now, and the defense will prevail. Their offense just hasn't gotten into any type of flow. They've been sitting a while on the sidelines while watching us eat up this entire first half's time of possession. As this is fair caught at the 32 by Braden Parks, and the offense will get back to work. We'll jump into a 3rd and 6 as Taylor will motion across the field. Burr looking for a shot to take, but with the pocket collapsing, he'll just take the easy dump off to Walker. That's his 5th catch, and Walker has been the offense for the entire first half. But now Bird lofts it over the middle and takes the top off the defense. Rick Taylor with tons of green and will put us ahead by 3 scores here in Minnesota. He has been one of my favorite players from this draft class, and what an offensive explosion we have witnessed in the first half. As McCarthy connects with Jefferson for a 1st down as we get this second half kicked off. The Vikings really needed that. That's only their 2nd 1st down of the entire game. As Kendrick Duhan breaks that up for a 2nd down, this is another player I'm excited for as we slowly develop him. And now Jefferson is all alone downfield, and it's JJ to JJ for a touchdown. And these Vikings fans are happy to finally see him gritty, which cuts this back to a touchdown game. But we know we can trust this offense today. There was no chance we would not continue to do what we have been doing all game, which is to eat up clock and protect the football. And when Kenneth Walker is having one of those days, we are going to rely on this offensive line that has improved tremendously over the last couple of years. On 2nd down, we'll see if the run game has opened up the passing attack. Bird fires and hooks up with Metcalf, who takes this to the 1. What a game by the rookie after the pick 6. And Walker will cap it off with number 2 of the game and of the season, and it's back to a 2-possession game. Vikings go to the ground with Jerome Ford. He avoids the big hit and finds tons of space near the sidelines. What a response by Minnesota. Cameron Tucker fires in on the right gap, but just completely whiffs on the tackle. That's gotta be better from someone we believe that can be great. Now McCarthy with tons of time. He throws, but right into coverage. It's Cameron Tucker with his 1st of the season and taken down past midfield. We just criticized him, and that's the type of response we look for that separates the good players from the great ones. And the Seahawks will have it from the 33. But Bird gets dropped in the backfield, and it's Boye Mafe making an impact on his former team. That drive unfortunately ended with a punt after that. As McCarthy flips this out on a screen to Ford with space on the outside. He's got a chunk out of it, but it's still going to be 4th down they need to have here. Run with Madison, and he's stuffed. It's Cameron Tucker and the former Viking Ivan Pace who meets him at the line of scrimmage, and this defense makes another statement of how good they could be. We burned a ton of clock on our next drive, but Minnesota finally positioned themselves inside the red zone. As Ford gets the check down, will be tackled inbounds by Dotson. Better late than never, as they say. And the Vikings are trying their best to make something happen late. And they do, as McCarthy will run it in for 6. But the question will be if they can finally stop this run game that has been overpowering their defense. Here's your answer. But here's 3rd and 7, no timeouts for Minnesota. Do they stay conservative or trust the rookie? They're gonna go with his arm. And it pays off! Caught at the 1 by Cook, and that will wrap this game up without any ways of stopping the clock. 28-21 is your final score. This game finished closer than what actually transpired. We controlled the majority of this game and we finished our road trip going 2-1 to open up the season. Bird had his first 300-yard game to go along with his first 2-touchdown game. It wasn't pretty on the opening drive, but he and this offense locked in and got the job done. Kenneth Walker was a beast on the ground and he was a difference maker for our offense, and that included some of the things that he did through the passing game. But this defense is surprisingly coming along quicker than I expected. If we take away the game against the Eagles, they've only allowed 1 touchdown in 2 games and forced 3 turnovers as well. We are finally playing an exciting brand of football here in this series, and I think it's clear that a quarterback really makes a difference, but more importantly is how we have built a team around him to relieve him from difficult situations. We did lose Zach Charbonnet in the game to an ab tear, so he'll miss 3 weeks and Danny Beverly will see more time now. I've been considering this for quite some time, but Tyrell Dotson just has been a pleasant surprise in this series. He is one of those guys I just feel that ends up wherever the football is, and he has earned himself to be one of the captains of this team. I want to take a moment here to go back to our saga in the offseason with Drake May. The comment section wanted me to trade him to the Niners since Brock Purdy signed with the Patriots, but I wanted to see how it would play out with Trey Lance and his comeback story. And it's safe to say this experiment would not have a fairy tale ending. The Niners are 1-2 to start the year, and Lance currently leads the league in interceptions thrown. So I have decided that it is time to send Drake May to the Niners for a 3rd-round pick and Malcolm Kuntz for financial reasons. If the Niners weren't still so stacked as a roster, I would have let them play it out and tank their season to build around a new quarterback. But their team is ready to win now, and the window is closing for a Super Bowl. So we'll see if Drake May can be the difference maker. Speaking of Super Bowl, our first home game of the year will be against the team that just won it in the Los Angeles Chargers. They may be experiencing a bit of hangover, but they did pick up their first win of the season over the Bucs. This has been a very tough schedule out of the gate with 3 road games to start and playing the Super Bowl champions as a home opener. This roster is very talented and I believe that this game could be very physical and tough. I doubt it would be like the Vikings where we can have our way on the ground game. Joey Bosa is still a threat on the defensive line now at the age of 31. He's still a superstar development player and our O-line will have their hands full because they brought in some reinforcement on that D-line with Chris McMichael. He was their 1st-round pick this year and the rookie out of USC will be clogging up the space between tackles. But the flip side is they are dealing with some big-time injuries on their offensive line. In fact, 60% of them will be out for this game. So, there's only one way to battle against these guys, and that is to limit the amount of time Herbert has back there, and to let our boys eat up front. But this will be a game to see what kind of team we really are, and it's gonna be in front of our fans, as we are welcomed back to the home of the 12. Touchback for the Chargers, and Herbert will step onto the field first with his offense. So far this year, 6 touchdowns with 1 interception on only 84 pass attempts. Here's pass number 85, and it's a strike to his tight end with tons of green in front of him. That is Quincy Dunn, 2nd-year player out of San Diego State, gives them 40 on the opening drive. Here's a run, and it's Rachaad White who carries them inside the 10. And our defense gets a wake-up call on how physical this team is, as White nearly gives them the early lead, down at the 2. White is still in the backfield. Handoff. He squeezes by, but a nice tackle by Ivan Pace, and he's still a yard short of the goal line. And how Jim Harbaugh is this to have a fullback lined up? It goes to him, and the Chargers get 6. Touchdown by Troy Hairston on a rare fullback dive, and I think we have an idea now how quickly a Super Bowl team can attack you offensively. As the Seahawks run gets blown up, Jack Adams, 1st-round pick a year ago, makes the play on Danny Beverly, and it forces an early 3rd and long. The Chargers have invested a ton into this defensive line with 1st-round picks, and it seems to be paying off. We couldn't convert on our 3rd down, and here's the chance for the Chargers to, but Herbert can't avoid the pressure. Derek Hall has been on a tear lately, and the Chargers will call on the punt team. Braden Parks is back deep. He hasn't got much of an opportunity to return, and he won't here either. Bird and the offense will take over again, still in search of a 1st down. Gonna try it with Walker, He gets by Derwin James, but gets tackled by Quincy Williams, now in his first year with the Chargers. Run game is off to a slow start and forced to pass here. Toss near sidelines is caught, but Nate McDonald unable to keep both feet in, and the offense just can't get anything going in the early contest. Meanwhile, here's another big catch and run to Dunn. He's got tons of room, absorbs a hit but keeps going, and finally taken down from behind by Dotson. That saved a touchdown, and that's why he's deserving of a C on his jersey, as this tight window throw doesn't fit into his backup tight end, and this drive will just end with 3. Already down 10 at home, they'll need to pick up the pace before this gets out of hand, and finally a first down to get this drive started. Kenneth Walker obviously the catalyst in the win early in the episode, but here's Beverly with the catch, sheds off a tackle, and the rookie will get us into Chargers territory. That's his specialty out of the backfield, and he'll get a lot more time with Charbonnet currently being out, as Walker has it and will be stopped short. This offense will stay on with a 3-receiver set. They're going to go parallel with Taylor. He's got the first down and bursting into the second level. These last few games should convince us that he can do this on a consistent rate, as Lockett gets it, trying to catch the angle, but he's just short of the goal line. Lockett obviously not seeing as much playing time as we're used to, but he's still producing when he's called upon. And that was a bad play call. It's third down. Now running an option. Shovel pass is knocked away, and luckily it falls safely onto the ground. That drive ends with just 3, unfortunately, as Herbert goes back to work, and he'll find Ladd McConkey with his first catch of the game. We have Devon Witherspoon shadowing that matchup, as this third down pass is well behind the sticks, and a nice tackle is made by Cameron Tucker against Dunn, who already has over 100 yards on the day. Cal Bird only has 63 through the air, and he'll add to that here as he hooks up with Metcalf for 17. Golston shaken up and will sit out a few plays. In comes Anthony Bradford, and will run in his direction as he picks up the block on the linebacker, and this incredible effort by Walker will get us near midfield. When he gets going, I just feel like teams recognize that they're going to have a long drive ahead of them, as he picks up another 8. Third down with 2 backs back there. Inside zone with Beverly, and he goes airborne and does not get it. Offense will stay on. They went with a sweep on the last 4th down. This time it's going to be a pass, and it ends up in Taylor's hands anyway. It's a first down. I really think we nailed it when we took him in the 4th round. He just separates so well from defenders, and so does this guy. Metcalf bursting forward, and he's inside the 5. Calbert is operating this 2-minute drill to perfection and connecting with his receivers. Now trying to buy time rolling right. Sets and fires to the end zone. Touchdown! How about Kendrick Cook finishing it off? And all 3 receivers contributed to the final drive of the half. Joey Bosa leaks through, and Bird was able to slip away with his eyes downfield and fired this ball where only his guy could get it against an all-pro like Derwin James. This game has been tough against this physical Chargers team to start, but I love how we've responded on both sides of the ball. And now Hall will take him down, and that's how we'll get into halftime. This was an ugly first half with the slow start, but the composure we've shown so far is giving us some life in our first home game of the season. And I'm excited to see how this will finish out being knotted up at 10 against the Super Bowl champions. Here's a third down, and Bird can't get an accurate throw off to the open Beverly. The rookie McMichael breaks free, but if Bird just climbed the pocket, it would have been a big play for Beverly. That's on me. So Herbert will take over and find his favorite target, Dunn, who's been frying us all game. He's having his way, and our safeties have not been able to keep up with him at all. And now, McConkey is left all alone on the outside, and he's got enough for first down yardage. One of the more productive drives for Los Angeles since the first quarter. And there goes White, bad angles everywhere, and he nearly took it to the house. Second and goal now. Handoff to White. Pace does a good job to slow down his momentum, and Dotson is there to clean up the play. I have been impressed by the play of Ivan Pace so far, and these 2 linebackers are going to track down guys in the backfield, hopefully for a long time. as Herbert tries to run on us but couldn't get by Duhan, the rookie, so they end up with 3 on that drive. Both offenses are having a tough time punching it through the end zone, and luckily the defense did just enough to hold their ground, as Bird hooks up with Metcalf while throwing under pressure. So signs of life as they work this past midfield. And Walker will get about 4. They'll go empty on 2nd down, as Bird now climbs and unleashes downfield and takes the top off the defense. Touchdown to DK Metcalf. Just minor adjustments being made. This time he steps up in the pocket, trusts his line, and delivers with confidence. And we have a Bird that has taken flight. Here's our next possession after the defense forces a punt. And look at the space he has to run. Metcalf out in space is a dangerous formula for any team, and Seattle is trying to put a lid on this one. As Walker catches the angle, and he'll rip a big one. He's got 71 yards on 12 carries today. Beverly will check in for the backfield, as Bird connects with the open underneath route, and McDonald will move the chains. I think the offense is at its best when every player gets a touch. We obviously want more of it in Metcalf and Walker's hands, but it's more of an advantage to spread out the defense. And there's an example why. Touchdown to Kendrick Cook. His first of the season will expand this to a 2-possession game here in the 4th quarter against the Super Bowl champions. And time is now their enemy. Nice route and a nice catch there by McConkey, who's had a quiet game like the rest of this Chargers offense. But I think we are in awe of what we're witnessing from this defense. This newly revamped secondary has done its part of keeping teams away from the end zone. And we know Herbert and this offense is not going to just bend the knee in the final moments. Final 3:30 to go. Here's a rainbow to the back of the end zone. It's caught and apparently for a touchdown, McConkey. What a grab in the back of the end zone against Witherspoon. It's rare to see him get beat, but this was clear that he had both feet in. They missed on a 2-point try, and we'll see Walker a bunch, we presume. And nearly a good start, but this will be self-inflicted with a holding call. Jumping now to 3rd and 17. Trying to reach the 2-minute warning with a screen to Beverly. Oh, what a spin move and a valiant effort. But this will end up in the Chargers' possession with under 2 minutes to go. Herbert scanning the field. There's nothing there, and he's taken down by the rookie Ben Silas with his first career sack. He won't be able to enjoy it as they up the tempo. Herbert, again under pressure. Barno trying to track him down, and the D-line does their job. No choice but to go for it on 4th down. 7 in coverage. Deep ball one-on-one. Incomplete. It's Witherspoon. McConkey got him last time, and this time Witherspoon wasn't going to let him win that battle, and all the Seahawks need is a 1st down. Trusting Bird's arm again to close the deal. It's Cook again, running parallel, and they rule him short of the 1st down. That's a big call, and they get Myers on to make it an 8-point game. And it hits the crossbar. No good. A major collapse here in the final minutes, and we have to be reliant on this defense again. Herbert's throw on 1st down is caught and tackled inbounds by Duhan. Good job by the rookie as they line up quickly. 35 seconds to go. Good coverage, and he'll toss it out of bounds with 31 seconds left to play. They still need 64 yards to possibly win the game. Toss to the right side, and Palmer couldn't hold on. Might have helped them to stop the clock, but it's 4th down. Quick hitter, and he's tackled behind the marker. What a job by Devon Witherspoon. This was a great matchup all game between him and McConkey, but it's Witherspoon with the final laugh on this excellent shoestring tackle. We will reward Witherspoon by having him line up in victory formation, and the Seahawks will start the season 3-1, taking down the Super Bowl champions. 24-19 is your final score, but what a start for this defense to open up year number 3 for this franchise. We have finally unlocked Cal Bird in this playbook. We needed someone who could stretch the field all series, and I'm confident we may have found the right man under center running the show. But this is impossible without the defense, and they have been so much fun to play with. now that we have guys who can pressure the quarterback and the secondary has been locked down. I really feel like we have built this team the right way, and I needed some of you to be patient along with me. Last year's draft class was building the foundation of being a more physically tougher football team and building around the trenches. But this year's group gives us the more flashy element and identity to our team. One of the biggest additions is actually coming from the slot position. Kendrick Duhan, selected in the second round, has not put up any big numbers, but the reason you don't hear his name called is because teams are not throwing his direction. He's just taken that out of the equation for the opposing offenses. But one guy who has been putting up some huge numbers for us is Rick Taylor. He's currently playing a power slot role for us, but he also has the speed to create space for us as well. He got hurt in the fourth quarter of this game, which is why the numbers weren't there, but he would be okay for the next one, and I'm excited to see more from him. We'll check on Drake May's new team in the Niners, who lost to the Chiefs by a large margin. And I hope we didn't break them, because May threw for 3 interceptions to open up his debut with them. We're also getting offers for Sam Howell. There are some teams here that would make sense to some quarterback needy teams, but you guys can let me know if I should trade Howell and for what. One team from this list that does not need him is the Atlanta Falcons, because Michael Penix through 4 weeks is leading in the league in yards thrown and second in touchdowns. And while we're at it, these are what the stats look like to open up the year. I don't imagine we'll see much from our offense since we just started unlocking the playbook for Cal Bird. But we did allow those 3 touchdowns to Will Shipley. I still want us to be a run-first team and build from that identity rather than an air raid system, so we can best protect Bird and our defense. A stat I like to win each game is time of possession, which would really give us more control, but obviously things are going to happen each game and game plan will look different. And how about the start Derek Hall is having? He's second in TFLs and sacks. He's just due for a big season, but there's still a lot of games left to be played. And the next one will be against first round pick Tyler Foster. We wrestled between picking him or Bird, and the rookie will now be coming back to the state of Washington, and we'll get our first look at him in the next episode. This episode will end with the reveal of Cal Bird being star development. I think that's okay with the way he's been playing, but keep following his career by subscribing if you haven't already. And please like the video to help out the channel. This was a fun episode and many more to come. I hope you guys have an amazing day and comment below. I love responding to your feedback. Thank you guys so much again, and for now, I'm Monkey C, and I'm out.